So the Battlefield 2042 Reddit might get shut down because of all the backlash the game's received and how toxic apparently the community's gotten towards the game, and a lot of that is sparked from Andy McNamara, who tweeted out, and I guess, by the way, his title is Global Integrated Comms Director or something, whatever that means. I'm just assuming that's a glorified, like, community director, and what he basically said on Twitter was, guys, people gotta rest. We have things in motion, but we have to figure out what is possible. Let us get back from break and get back to work. Love you guys, but these expectations are brutal. The things that you want take time to scope, design, and execute, which is essentially set the entire Reddit into a shitstorm and just full of people getting pissed off because of one Reddit post that is titled, EA DICE finally responds to the backlash, which apparently, according to the PC Gamer at the time article, has 10,000 upvotes and 2,000 comments, in which McNamara later deleted the tweets. I would like to point out that PC Gamer does state in the article that they find Battlefield 2042 buggy, but it's functional and actually find it fun. I don't disagree with that necessarily. I think that the problem is with Battlefield 2042 is just fundamental issues, like operators. I think there's not enough weapons in the game, not enough maps. Like basically the video I made yesterday is all the things I have issues with, and I feel like I've heard most people talk about. But the article does state a couple tweets that I think are kind of interesting to hear because it seems like a lot of people are pissed, and rightfully so. Battlefield 2042 should not have been released in the state it was, especially after the beta, because the beta was not good. I made a video about it stating that there were a lot of issues that were going to come into the full game, which is kind of a problem that some of the concerns that I had and a few other people I saw on Reddit and social media had that just continued to come into the game. But I want to read a couple of the replies that came to McNamara's tweet. One reply reads, "We wanted a finished game. Sorry for being unreasonable. I guess this unfinished buggy shit is all you are capable of making." Another basically just goes on to state that they wasted $100 for this game and it's 20% finished, but you are on a nice long holiday and stuff like that. As you guys know, I love to give my own thoughts, and I might as well just give my own thoughts to this entire situation. I don't blame the Battlefield community for being toxic. I think I've pointed this out with the Call of Duty community being toxic because I've said that it's not that they're being toxic, they're just growing more frustrated over time because they're constantly getting screwed by the developer. And after a while, people, when they're getting screwed over and over and over again, start to get, say passionate is the word I would use. So there is no reason to get pissed at someone who's pissed off at a game that they paid probably $60, $70, $100 for. $100 is a lot of money. Whether you think it or not, that's a lot of money that someone dumped into this game that probably they didn't see a good return on. The other thing is I want to kind of talk about McNamara's tweet. It's a very unaware tweet. Like the fact that you sent that out and just let it sit there. I get it, you deleted it after, but that's because you couldn't take the criticism from players in the community. And to be honest, all of them are frustrated. You have to understand their frustration. You could have probably done it a little bit better and say, like, for instance, Sledgehammer released a bunch of tweets where they did a good job with those tweets. I honestly was surprised based on, I thought it was going to be something similar to this. I thought Sledgehammer was going to release tweets that McNamara tweeted because they did a good job. They really did. They kind of just said, this is our blueprint, here you go. And it gave me some confidence that I'm like, all right, maybe my investment in this game isn't totally worthless. Maybe you do have this under control. Maybe you are reading the feedback. And I'm okay with that. If you're reading the feedback, and they've done a decent job so far. They're releasing patches right now, which is great. So, to be honest, right now, Vanguard, if they're going to keep adding patches and kind of just say, this is what we're doing, and they're communicating with the public. They're communicating with the gamers. I'm all for it. They're doing exactly what I wanted them to do. That's, to me, as long as you're communicating with me as to what you're doing, I can't be pissed off. There's not much I can say. You're doing a good job. They're releasing patches very quickly, I feel like, at least in terms of what they need to do right now, especially coming off the break. So that's kind of my other point, is the break. Listen, anyone who works in any job deserves breaks. You deserve vacations, you deserve sick days. During the holidays, Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving, whatever holiday it is, you deserve your time off. You're very warranted that time. Because people shouldn't be sucked into working at their jobs 24/7, having to worry about their jobs and everything else. On the flip side, you have just released a product that is towards the end of the year, at one of the heights of the biggest times a year for people to give gifts to people. I can't really justify you saying, hey, we're on vacation. It doesn't make sense to me to say, all right, they're on vacation, good for you. Well, this game's complete garbage. Well, why don't you break it up a little bit? I mean, everyone should have time off around Christmas and stuff like that, but I don't know how long your vacation was. I don't really care either, but maybe you break it up a little bit. You know, maybe keep people in office and have half of the office and half at home or whatever. There's options there. You didn't have to just say, you know what, screw it. Everyone gets the week off or 2 weeks off or 3 weeks off or whatever you did. because you also just put out a huge product, a big game of the year that people were very hyped up for, that kind of was somewhat of a letdown at the start. And then in turn, what you ended up doing was just screwed everybody, left, and then just said, we'll patch it later. It's not really a good idea. You did that at the start with the launch, because I thought the launch wasn't great, and I wasn't very, happy with the product I got already. But then you kind of felt like you abandoned the game for 3 weeks, and then that was kind of up to us and said, we'll deal with it after the holidays. It's not really fair, because then people who did get this game during the holidays got totally hosed and got this piece of garbage game. Just saying, that's just my opinion there. With the addition, the game launched with a ton of negative feedback, and to be honest, I probably would have turned to some staff and said, hey, we got to work this out and probably either do overtime or something, just something to help kind of get people over that hump into the holidays if you were taking that time off. It just didn't feel like there weren't enough patches. I get it, there was some things that they did talk about in posts and stuff like that, but I don't think that was enough. You realize, really, there were so many fundamental issues, and I think this comes down to the point of this game should have been delayed. The game should have been delayed and held off because it wasn't ready for launch. There were so many issues in terms of just operators, not enough weapons, maps, whatever. This game should have been one more year out. They should have pushed it back one more year, and that's that. And I think that's the problem, is if it does happen, it gets pushed back a year, I'd rather have it pushed back a year, get my $70, $60, $100 worth of a game versus getting a piece of shit that I now have to then wait for things to get better at the end. I'd rather be good at the start and then just get even better at the end. That's how it should be. You shouldn't get a piece of garbage and then it just gets better. It should be, it's a great, good game that gets better. I don't think that's a fair system at all. So to wrap this up, I believe it's justified that the toxicity exists within the Battlefield community. I don't think they should shut down the Reddit, because I think that then hurts them more so, because there are a lot of people that do use Reddit compared to Twitter or Instagram or Facebook or whatever. So I personally believe they should keep it going and kind of work with the community to figure out how they fix the game. You shouldn't shut it down. I think it's dumb. It's a dumb idea, and if you do that, you're going to fail. But I think they should try to work with the community and maybe set posts and stuff like that. I don't know how the mods work. I'm not that great with Reddit, so I don't know if they're company-owned, or people who are employed by DICE that are working the Reddit, but I think they should try to figure out how to work with that in terms of maybe creating posts, stuff like that, to kind of get that interaction and figure out what people really want so they can fix the game or prevent this from going forward. But as always, I want to know what you think. Do you think Battlefield's toxicity is warranted? Do you think it's fair for them to just go after the developer? Do you think McNamara's tweets were warranted? I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below, because I will love the interaction with you guys. If you like the video, like the video. If you liked it just enough, maybe you should subscribe, because I am here. I try to post every day, at least best I can. And thanks for watching, and bye.